Hey, all you lovers in Loverland, and welcome to 5-Year Club video number 56. This is my smooth radio voice, and it's not very good, but I have a kitten colored like a rainbow with a unicorn horn. So let's get this ride started. 5-Year Club video number 56! So excited today. We're talking about reversibility. I have a pile of shirts on my couch and they're not folded. They're just stacked, and stacked is even fancy for me because usually it's just a pile. I'll probably wear a few of those shirts before the weekend because if I wear the shirt I don't have to fold it, and that saves me even more time to do stuff that's important to me. Fortunately, when the weekend does come and I've got that pile of dirty laundry, it's reversible. I can wash it. The laundry doesn't have to stay dirty forever. But if I have a baby over the weekend, that's not reversible. As far as I know, babies continue to be babies, and you can't just have them go back to not being babies. If you buy an item from Amazon, it is returnable within 30 days, and so that decision is, generally speaking, reversible. But if I fail to film this video tonight, and I promised myself I'd film a video every day this year, that is not reversible because I have missed a day if I fail to film this. And if I failed to give a good first impression of the 5-Year Club, that's also not reversible. You still think I'm an idiot. Fair enough. So there are many things in life, and when we navigate the waters of what to spend our time on, we have to consider a wide range of different scenarios. What are we going to do with our time? What are we going to do with our life? What's the best possible outcome if we spend our time a certain way? What's the worst possible outcome? And what is a likely outcome? And unfortunately, our brains are not particularly good at evaluating these things. They're very biased towards a fear of loss rather than towards appreciating or anticipating opportunity. And we also don't use a lot of analytical thinking when we think about that loss. And so many times when a tragedy happens or when things don't go our way and we get emotional about it and upset about it, we play these stupid stories in our mind, and the stories go something like, if I make this change and it fails, then I'll be unemployed / broke / single forever, and it's because I'm basically a human piece of crap. And that's the reason. So it's like, it's a permanent property of you that is the reason why this is true. So it's an inflexible, unchangeable property. It's not just a situational thing. And the negative outcome lasts forever, and that's about as creative as we get. And the reason why we do that to ourselves is because analytically, it takes a lot of brain juice to go through more likely scenarios because there are so many of them. To analyze that situation, we'd have to come up with like 5,000 different slight variations in the way that things could work during or after a stressful situation. And our brains are like, nope, I need to figure out where to eat breakfast, so I'm not going to think about all those possible things. And as a result, we don't have very balanced, kind of realistic understandings of how to make stressful decisions, or how things are going to work out, or what to do when things go wrong. So what we need to do is kind of slow this process down. And when we find ourselves kind of worrying or anxious or thinking about how to prioritize what steps to take next to unscrew up something that's happened, it's good to have a framework of common questions that you ask yourself every time this stuff happens. One of those questions is obviously like, what's the worst case scenario? But another question is looking at situations through this lens of reversibility. Because when you have a situation and the decision that you need to make is a decision that is reversible after you make it. In other words, if you're wrong, you can always just flip a switch and take the other path. then you don't have to spend a lot of time worrying or analyzing that decision. If you're wrong, okay, you're wrong. And you might lose 5% or 10% or whatever it is, but you can take the other direction and try something else. So we want to spend our time really on the decisions that are not reversible. So I'll give you an example of this in the financial space. Choosing a wrong investment, it's generally reversible. So it's one of the ones that we don't have to worry too much in the beginning. If you have some money saved and you choose the wrong type of investment, it may cost you a little bit, but you can sell that bad investment and buy a good investment, then you're on the right track. But if you didn't save any money in the first place, that's not a reversible decision. The money is not there. You can save new money, but that old money you were supposed to save, you've already spent it on something. It's gone. And if you don't make that non-reversible decision correct in the first place, then the investment mostly reversible decision doesn't really matter. I see a lot of people, especially around the emergency fund, talking about how they're going to invest their emergency fund to avoid losing money to inflation or to get the best possible return. But they don't spend a lot of money thinking about their savings rate or thinking about their spending rate in context of the emergency fund. And if they did, they would find that upping their savings game solves all of this investment related stuff related to the emergency fund that they could change and reverse anyway if they didn't like the outcome of it. There are a lot of things that people think about or get preoccupied by that are completely reversible. So, I've got certain things about where I live that I could totally fix. They are reversible. I've got holes in the wall of I guess it was a shelf that I took down, so I need to repair that drywall. I've got a broken heater that I could fix. So that's reversible. I've been trying to mount my projector on the ceiling for years now, and I'm not really able to do that because I can't center it because I'm just really bad at mounting projectors. And when I try to mount that projector, it takes me a few hours. And inevitably, I put it in the wrong spot, and then I have nothing to show for my time. And the thing is, all of these small things can be fixed later, and it doesn't have much of an impact on what's happening in my life one way or the other. But people will get very preoccupied with them, and they'll find their whole weekend is spent fixing up all these visible things. But there's a lot of stuff in life that we need to spend time on that's not reversible, that is not going to give you a nice, visible result. So let's talk about some of those things. Are you spending enough time with your kids, with your family? Because someday your kids are going to go off to college and there's not going to be that much time with them left. Because they're going to go be adults and start their own lives and get busy doing their work and all that kind of stuff. Are you saving enough money? Because someday you're going to be sick and it's going to be tough to get more money. And you're not going to be able to snap your fingers and magically be younger and magically be less sick. Are you spending time on planning? Planning. Put time on your calendar and say, this is my planning time. This is when I'm going to plan my fitness game plan. This is where I'm going to plan my diet. This is when I'm going to plan my financial life. Because years later, the time has already passed. And if you didn't have a plan that you were executing, you're not going to get that time back to, eat healthier diets so you don't have coronary artery disease, or exercise more so you don't have, weak muscles like Lewis, or let's see. What was the final one? Oh, yeah, or, planning out that financial life so you actually have some money. Planning, explicitly planning, is something that you got to do now, or the plan's not going to be there. That's it. So, final thing I want to end this with is I want you, when you look at things about your life that are not right, if they're in the category of being reversible, I want you to appreciate them. I want you to look at your pile of laundry piled up and think, wow, that pile of laundry is there because I'm spending my time on more important things. Because there are more important things in my life than folding that laundry. Or if, I don't know, what's another good situation? Another good... see, I'm trying to come up with things that are not really dirty gross. Ooh, I haven't done those dishes in 3 days, but I'm actually pretty good about dishes, so that's not me. What am I bad at? Oh, I'm sure my friends. Oh, you know what? Cat hair definitely forms tumbleweeds, and I only get to them about once every 2 weeks. Guilty. They hide behind the speakers, and so that's a fact. But on the plus side, in 2 weeks, I've filmed 14 videos, so that's good. And the way I see this is that if those cat tumbleweeds and those awkward shirts on my couch meant that the net effect of filming those 14 videos is that people watched them and were able to have $10,000 more in net worth in the future because they saw something or were inspired by something or finally just reached their breaking point and got over the hump and decided to change something about their financial life, then that was a really profitable, fantastic thing that I didn't do with my shirts. And I'm very happy with that. And what I've seen in my life is that a lot of times progress and success does not look like every little detail squared away. It doesn't look like a perfectly clean kitchen. It doesn't look like a perfectly coordinated wardrobe. It doesn't look like, an organized bookshelf or kind of perfection in all these visible outward details. Success and progress a lot of times looks like making a small number of really important decisions well. I don't even want to say correct because there's so many good outcomes. Who can say what the correct one is? But a lot of times when you look at the trajectory of somebody's life, there are a few things they decided to do and spend time on that really set the tone for everything going forward. And generally speaking, that's not folding the shirts. So that's it for tonight's video. 5-Year Club video number 56. Think about the role reversibility plays in your decision-making process and whether the things you're spending your time on right now are reversible or not. How important are they? Have a fabulous night.